Y'all, look at me doing a review on time for I May Destroy You, the finale. As this video is going to air today, less than 24 hours after the premiere. Pat on the back, because the devil is procrastination, as well as these sounds outside. Anywho, that finale, y'all, it was a definitely, I can't curse in the first minute of this video, but it was a WTF. It was trippy. It was a lot to unpack. It was very unexpected. I will save my explanation for the ending at the end of the review, because I have so much to say. I definitely also had to see what the creator, Michaela, had to say. She did an interview about the finale, and I read it afterward, and definitely it made more sense to me. So, let's get into this episode. It's titled Eagle Death, which is the name of the bar that she was assaulted at. So the episode starts where it left off in episode 11. She sees her attacker in the bar. She is staring intently at him, and she has all these recollection of the memories now. We see her rushing to the bathroom with Terry, telling her, that is the guy. And she's like, are you sure? And she's like, yes. Terry says she is shaking like a crackhead right now. I kind of giggled at that. And we see that Arabella already had a plan to get this mofo. And Terry's just like, are you serious? And she was like, yes, bitch. I've been here every single day. What you think I was doing? She was hatching a plan. And Terry's asking, well, what do you plan to do? Hurt him. And I'm just like, yes. She's saying a criminal always returns to the scene of the crime. So Arabella then asks Terry, are you down? Are you down with this plan? Terry's like, fuck yes. I cheered in my apartment, y'all. The first 8 minutes, I was just hollering at my TV. Seriously. So exciting. And they're like, the alliance is spicy. I'm just like, I cannot wait. I love a good revenge plot. I mean, I love my Kill Bills, of course, so yeah. Now the plan is to hook, line, and sink him. And Arabella also calls Theo to come and help. Lord, Arabella in this wig. Yeah, it's like the blonde little, I don't even know what that called that, ladies. Is it a bob? Is it a bang? I don't know. The bang. No, I think it's a short little blonde bob, some type of shit. It almost looks like the one Tyler the Creator be wearing. But yeah, she's wearing this black latex dress. I'm just like, did she have all this in her bag? So they're basically the three of them. They're staking out, looking at him at the bar. And the plan is set into action. We have Arabella, she confronts him, and I guess he doesn't recognize her. And yeah, I can believe that. So she's talking to him, and he lies and says his name is Patrick when it's actually David. As they're talking, he buys her a drink, and Theo's looking on to see where he put the drug in his pocket, so she's planning to pickpocket him while Arabella distracts him. So Arabella is pretending to drink the drink while she's talking to him. Theo goes up and snatches the little drug from him, and she goes into the bathroom. She brought a syringe, and she goes to the bathroom, uses the toilet water to mix it in with the drug, gets a syringe, and then soaks it up, planning to inject him. I am on the edge of my fucking seat right now. So Arabella, she pretends to be woozy and stumbling, and then she kind of falls, and David catches her, and then he kind of drags her in the bathroom. They go into the men's bathroom. Meanwhile, we have Terry, who's going up to his accomplice, the black guy, and she's twerking on him to distract him as well. So we see David and her in the stall. She's pretending to be kind of knocked out. He's pulling her panties off, and as soon as he's about to unbuckle his pants, she's like, a criminal always returns to the scene of the crime. He is shocked, and then all Arabella says is now. And then you have Theo from the next stall inject him in the foot. I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far. So he is shocked and kind of out of it. She's trying to keep him inside the door, but then he's woozy and runs out the bathroom. So then we have Terry seeing him run out the bathroom. She goes back and meet the girls, and they're all celebrating and cheering. I'm guessing they just want to give him a taste of his own medicine, and it's just going to stay right there. But as they're celebrating, Arabella's like, well, how much of the syringe did you use on him? She's like, well, all of it. She was like, oh, but yeah, he can die. And then Terry's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck if he dies. And then Arabella reminds him, like, wait, he has my panties on him. That can be for evidence for the police. And now they're all worried at this point. So we see David and his accomplice leave the bar. He's still woozy, and then they separate. The drug's effect is definitely increasing on him, and as he separates, he just starts to walk off, not knowing the ladies are on his track. So the ladies are on his tail, and side note, whoever scored this scene with Janelle Monáe's The Arc Android, like, a bunch of songs. They start out with Dance or Die, and then Babapa Ya, and then Sweet Overture Part 2, I think. Just, oh, fuck, magnifique. I love that album so much. I thought it fit the scene perfectly. Anywho, so they're like literally footsteps behind him, and then he turns around, passes out cold. So Arabella and Theo, they're searching him, they find her panties, and Terry's like, let's go. But Arabella, she stops him and says, I want to see his penis. And she's like, you fucking serious? She's like, yeah, he saw mine, I want to see his. So she unbuckles his pants and grabs his flaccid penis for us to see. And he starts to come to, and then it shocks both Theo and Arabella, and they beat the shit out of him. Like, really beat the shit out of him. Like, while Arabella's like punching him in the face, you have Theo choking him with her panties. Like, I'm cheering on right now at this point. He is a beaten, bloody, battered mess. And then we have Arabella do one final knockout punch, and it looked like she killed the motherfucker. So now they're panicking, and Theo's like, where we're gonna put him? And then Arabella has an idea. So we see next scene that she's on the bus, and he's bloodied up, and she's pretending like, you know, he's asleep on her. Brings him to her house and stuffs him under the bed. Yeah. So then, now y'all pay attention. She goes up to the wall and sees the storyboard, and then we see Ben's garden, and then she writes a note and puts it up there and then snatches it off while he bleeds out underneath her bed. And turns out this ending was a fake out. So we rewind all the way back to episode 11 when she's deciding to go to the bar again. I'm like, okay. All right, so we're going to get another ending. Okay, that was a fake out. So now we're back at the bar. Arabella sees her assaulter. This time she goes into the bathroom, and Arabella is calling the police. Terry's like, what you doing? And she's like, I'm calling the police, of course. And she's like, what are you going to do? Tell him he like assaulted you with no evidence? And this is true. So this time Terry is the one with the plan, and her plan is to put his ass in jail. And she was like, you with me? Because this involves a lot of cocaine. So at this point, we fast forward to Bella doing a bunch of lines, and I'm guessing that's so she can be more alert once she drinks her spiked drink purposely. So yeah, she is crunked up. She is yelling, fire starter, fire starter. She approaches him, and he spikes her drink, and she just gobbles it down. Now you have Terry, she's distracting his accomplice again. And then we see Arabella, she's like, feeling the effects of her drink. She's starting to pass out, and then the guy brings her to the bathroom. After that, we see Terry notices this, and we see her calling the police. Now we're back in the stall with Arabella and David. Now she's kind of knocked out at this point, and this time it looks like he's actually almost close to assaulting her again, and then she just wakes up to his surprise. Now at this point, he doesn't seem nervous at all. Now he's actually telling her like, why are you upset? Calls her a whore. And then at this point, he's saying like, there's wars in Iraq, there's starving children. And this is kind of like a callback to when she was with her therapist, saying that those are all the things she thinks about when she was describing her coping mechanisms with her assault. So this led me to believe that this ending is a fake out too. Now, he starts to grab her a little bit, and I'm getting a little nervous, but then he starts to break down, and he apologizes to her. So then we see the police coming in, and they knock open the stall and they're not there. So now we see Arabella brought David to her house again. And now they're just talking on her bed, and he's telling her that, you know, he's had therapy for this. He's been to prison, and he's done multiple types of sexual assault to people. He's also wondering, like, why isn't she scared? And she's freaking out. And it looks like she's forgiving her attacker. Now, it seems like she forgave her attacker, and he's crying and saying, like, I don't want to leave you. And we see the police pull up to her house, breaks through her door, and then grabs him away. And she seems like at peace. And then we see her again write something on her paper for her storyboard wall and post it. And then we get another fake out. Like, oh my God, seriously? So now we're back at, you know, her house talking to Ben again. And I'm at this point, I'm just like, this is some Groundhog's Day shit. Like, she playing with us now. This is like number 3. So this time, we're back at the bar. We see Terry and her in the bathroom, but this time, she doesn't tell Terry that she saw her attacker. And meanwhile, she's opening a stall, and we see different figures of her flashbacks. The lady who also got assaulted at the police station, we see her looking at her childhood self. Meanwhile, Terry's talking to her about her threesome in Italy, saying that she realized that maybe she was tricked and she might want to go to Theo's support group. So this time they leave the bathroom, and it looks like everything has been inverted. Like, they come out and it's daytime. The bar is cleared out. All we see is David at the bar drinking. We also see his conspirator in the corner as well. Now, with this scenario, I'm thinking they switched the gender roles around. Now, follow me. Now, first she goes up to him, buys him a drink, and he's more so like the submissive role in this situation. Like, he can't believe that she's talking to him. Now, we also see Arabella buy his drinks, and then another hint at the gender role switch is when they go towards the bathroom, we see his friend dancing for Terry now. That is a weak twerk, I must say. So now they're in the bathroom making out, and we notice again that this was kind of like a gender switch, because look at the sign on the bathroom where you see the inverted woman at the top and then man at the bottom. Yeah, this is a trippy scenario for me. Like, this was the what the fuck moment is going on. So now we're back at Arabella's. It's her and David, and I'm just thinking, why does she keep bringing her attacker back to her place? Anywho, they're having consensual sex, and then Arabella starts to penetrate him. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this is another fake out. Like, this whole shit is trippy. What am I watching? I was getting higher and higher last night because I took my edible right before. It was strong, too. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was getting strong. I was just like, okay, what's going on? Anywho, the next morning, they wake up facing each other, and he tells her, I'm not gonna leave until you tell me to go. So Arabella looks at him and she says, go. So then he gets up, walks out butt-ass naked, and then underneath her bed, we have David from the first scenario where he's like a bloody, battered mess, comes up from under the bed with her, the bag that shows that she had an abortion. He has that, and he walks out with the other David. That was a creepy ass scene, by the way. Anywho, I took that as like more so a cathartic way for her to like let him go out of her head. And it felt like it signified that she was finally healed. So then we see again that she goes up to the storyboard, writes her notes, and then she tears them off. And we are back again. I'm just like, Lord. I paused it. I was just like, we got, 8 minutes left of this finale? What is going to happen? So we're back at her place, and she's deciding whether to go out or not. So Ben asks her, oh, so you're going to Eagle Death Bar tonight? She says, no, I'm just going to stay home. So then she goes over to hug him, and she decides to just stay in and watch TV with Ben. Now we see time passing by, we see their garden growing. So next scene, we see Arabella in her room. Terry's coming over, and it looks like she gifts Terry a copy of her book. So Terry opens it, and she sees that she dedicated her book to her best friend, Terry. So nice. And then Terry's like, I thought you was going to dedicate this book to that fucker Biagio. So in the next scene, we're in the room with Terry, her new man, Arabella, Kwame, Theo, and Ben. And they're all watching Terry's new commercial that I'm guessing that she got the gig for. She does an amazing job. They're all applauding for her. So then we see Arabella's book in the window of a bookstore. Arabella looks like she's about to read an excerpt from it, and she's presented by Susie Henny's old assistant. Now we see that Arabella published her book independently, so I'm guessing she didn't do my idea, which is blackmail Henny House. So 2 things about the book. So it's named January 22nd. That is the day her original draft was due, as well as the day she was assaulted. Number 2 about the book. Y'all see the cover? So episode 9, the Halloween episode, when she saw her therapist immediately after she came for her friends, when she drew that little A and then the little X on top of it, signifying her facing her demons and shit like that, yeah, that's the cover. So then she's about to read her excerpt, and before she opens her mouth, we see a little close-up of old Arabella with the purple hair. She's smiling, and then she runs across the shore. And that is how it ends. And I'm guessing the story that she's about to read is the series that we just watched. How about that? Like, it really did. I don't know. I was just like blown away. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? I really needed to process this. So I had what I thought the ending was, and then I watched it another time, and then I read what Michaela said about the finale. So let's finally unpack this ending, shall we? Because, of course, a lot of people were like, what the fuck was this? I can see it being really polarizing, and actually you can tell that it looked like it had multiple meanings. So honestly, I thought this ending, I thought it was surreal, I thought it was bold, I thought it was a mind fuck, and I thought it was unexpected. So let's break it down. She gave us 4 endings. And honestly, I think the last ending was the real ending, but you can also interpret it as her giving 4 endings for the viewer to, leave it up to their interpretation of what really happened. Now, after watching it a second time and then reading what Michaela said about the finale, I see that it was more so like an introspective / fourth wall break. Like basically Arabella trying to find the right ending for her book, and then we have Michaela like trying to find the right ending for Arabella that gives her like the most healing and the best closure. We saw like the storyboards after the first 3 endings. I took that as her trying to like provide the right ending. We see her taking notes down and then pulling them off the wall again. So yeah, she was trying to figure out which ending that she wanted. Now, the first ending, we had like basically a revenge plot. And honestly, when you look at it, you see that, well, making her a murderer, like, does that really provide healing? And now he's in her mind forever. So for the second ending, we see that, she basically gave sympathy to her attacker, she forgave him, and he's still hauled off by police. So is that the best closure? And then we see for the third ending, which I think was like the most provocative, like what if they flipped the gender roles? Would that be the most cathartic ending for Arabella? And hell, maybe for like the last and final ending, maybe she picked one of those endings to go in her book. So overall, I think I'm really satisfied with the ending. Like, I really enjoyed the season as a whole. I love these characters. Unfortunately, I don't think a season 2 is necessary. I don't want a season 2. Like, leave this season, like, as perfection as it can be. Would I want one? Low-key, yes. But I just feel like story-wise, where can they go with this, Now, the only issue that I had with this was I wish there was some more closure for Kwame. Like, I thought something was going to happen, involving that girl the last episode, but basically, Theo had more screen time than Kwame. So that was the only thing that I didn't like about it. Anywho, yeah, this was an amazing series. I hope more, black people tune in. I hope the subject matter doesn't turn people off. I really want people to see this story because I really do think this is the best series of 2020. And I think it's going to win all the awards at next year's Emmys. But yeah, looks like I'm going to have to to try to find a new show to review. But yeah, I thought about doing Lovecraft County, but those episodes are an hour long. And it's also based off of an anthology book, and it has so many allegories that I feel like I don't want to do like 40-minute reviews. I want to do like a quick, nice review, but I just want to enjoy that show. But yeah, I will be finding another show to do to replace I May Destroy You. But thank y'all for, watching this with me, all 12 episodes. And God, Michaela Cole, genius. I really hope that I can meet her one day. If you're watching this, Michaela, I want to meet you. I'm in New York. I will come to London to see you, girl. Anywho, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you for the next show. Bye.